Well, it just got better for Connor Bedard. Yeah, we made a video like 5 hours ago talking about how first overall picks Connor Bedard and Owen Power have been kind of getting worse. And there have been discussions by people in the fan bases of the Buffalo Sabres and the Chicago Blackhawks that have started to question the overall projectability of these players and how good they really are, and talking about the circumstances behind them. And the title of that video, I mean, okay, we can really just go over to the YouTube channel. It was this one right here. It just got worse for Connor Bedard and Owen Power. It was this video from a few hours ago, but it just got better. Because now, the Chicago Blackhawks have fired their head coach, Luke Richardson. He is out, and they are now promoting Anders Sorensen from the Rockford Ice Hogs to become the interim head coach. Mark Eaton will become the interim head coach in the AHL's Rockford system. This happened about an hour ago, and yeah, we're talking about it here now. There also were posts made about the plan. Tough decision for sure for GM Kyle Davidson. Luke Richardson was in the last year of a 3-year contract, although the club did have a 4th-year option. Sorensen becomes the 3rd European-born and trained NHL head coach, though he does have the interim tag. Chicago believes Sorensen has a bright future and will be given every opportunity to earn a full-time title. The Hawks made Alpo Suhonen the first in 2000. Ivan Hlinka followed with the Pittsburgh Penguins later on. The plan is here for Anders Sorensen to be the interim head coach for the rest of the season, at which point the Blackhawks will conduct a coaching search process at that time. Sorensen, depending on how he fares, could obviously be a candidate within that process. The Hawks are pretty high on him. Let's go over to the statement released by the Chicago Blackhawks on their website. Yeah, it's pretty long. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's go out there and read this piece of information together. Let's zoom in. How about that? Just so it fills up the screen and just so it's easier to take in all at once. Chicago Blackhawks GM Kyle Davidson announced today the team has relieved Luke Richardson of his duties as head coach. Rockford Ice Hogs head coach Anders Sorensen has been named interim head coach and will assume duties immediately. Mark Eaton, Blackhawks assistant GM overseeing player development, will assume interim head coaching responsibilities in Rockford. Honestly, good for Mark Eaton, going out there and getting this spot with the Blackhawks AHL affiliate after being the player development guy. Today, I made the difficult decision to move on from Luke as our head coach. We thank him for his efforts and contributions to the organization and our community, Davidson said. As we have begun to take steps forward in our rebuilding process, we felt that the results did not match our expectations for a higher level of execution this season, and ultimately came to the decision that a change was necessary. We wish Luke and his family all the best moving forward. On behalf of the entire Blackhawks organization, I'd like to thank Luke for his dedication over the past 3 seasons, said Blackhawks chairman and CEO Danny Wirtz. I fully support Kyle's decision in making this change as he continues to do what is needed to move our team forward. I have the utmost confidence in him and the rest of our hockey ops team as they begin searching for the next head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks. Sorensen, 49 years old, assumes the interim head coaching role after spending the previous 6 seasons behind the Rockford Ice Hogs bench. The native of Södertälje, Sweden, originally joined the Blackhawks organization as a development coach in 2013-14, a role he remained in for 5 seasons until being named an assistant coach with Rockford beginning in 2018-19. Sorensen was promoted to associate head coach ahead of the 21-22 season before taking over as interim head coach 6 games into the season. He earned a 35-26-5 record as interim head coach and guided the team to its first Calder Cup Playoffs berth for the first time since 2017-18. Sorensen has amassed a 117, 89, 16, and 7 record in 229 career AHL games serving as head coach, all with Rockford, while the Ice Hogs have reached the playoffs in each of his 3 seasons serving as bench boss. Prior to joining the Blackhawks organization, Anders Sorensen spent 3 seasons serving as the assistant coach for Södertälje SK of the Hockeyallsvenskan from 2011 to 2013 before taking over as interim head coach in 2013 October. So this is a pretty good statement. It's honest, it goes out there and talks about the shortcomings of Luke Richardson, and it goes over and gives a pretty good scouting report for the new guy, Anders Sorensen. Okay, maybe not new, he's been in the Blackhawks organization for over a decade, but still, you get what I mean. And the best part about this is what it does to these players over here. I wanted to go over to the Chicago Blackhawks subreddit and read just how much it's going to change, and how it's better for Connor Bedard now. Anders Sorensen is taking over as the interim head coach. I'm very surprised this happened mid-season, to be honest. I'm not surprised, based on Richardson's public criticism of the roster and Bedard's lack of confidence. Connor Bedard is the most important aspect in the organization, and if you think he's unhappy with the coach, then there's no reason to keep that coach around. Similar sentiment, honestly, to Connor McDavid from last year. Like, I get it, Connor McDavid and Draisaitl spoke out about how firing Jay Woodcroft wasn't really Woodcroft's fault, and it was their fault as players, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to keep the top asset in your team happy, and that's what Edmonton did last year by hiring Chris Knobloch. They got Connor McDavid's old coach from Erie. So keeping that connection strong, keeping that star player happy, that's a part of the role here. And for Chicago, they're doing the same thing with Connor Bedard. Fumbling Bedard would be the end of Davidson as GM. He had to do something, and this is really the only lever he could pull without overpaying in a trade. Honestly, he should probably do that other option as well at some point in the upcoming offseason. They have enough assets banked up to overpay in some spot without leaving them empty-handed. Let's go out there and read some more. Everyone get in here, oh crap. There's the Office meme. His reluctancy to let the young guys freewheel and make mistakes cost him. It's interesting because you would think he and KD would have been on the same page about the strategy from what we knew would be a losing team. There must be a deeper reason than playing defensive hockey while we wait for the prospects to be ready. Kyle is just saving his own ass for this move and will improve the team per usual with coaching changes for 5 to 10 games, and then it'll be back to normal. Younger guys need to be moved up or trades need to happen. You think this was saving his own behind? I don't buy it. They knew this was going to be a multi-year rebuild. You don't fire a GM 2 years into a 4 to 5 year plan, especially when it's working on paper with 2 of the best prospects in hockey in the system. I assume they're talking about Artyom Levshunov and, I don't know, does Connor Bedard count? Is he a prospect? No, he's not. He already had his rookie season. I'm not too sure where they are referring to here. Yeah, Levshunov and whomever else we can say. Matt Eberflus has agreed to being the interim head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks. Don't even joke about that, lest it becomes a reality. Yeah, the booing towards the end of the last game definitely rang up into the upper brass suite. I highly doubt a coach has ever been fired because fans were upset. I would certainly hope no management team would ever do that. If the fans are upset, the ownership will be as well, so it's not like they were perfectly fine with the performance and was just like, oh, the fans are upset, we must fire him because the fans demand it. Honestly, I kind of disagree. Jim Benning got fired the only night Vancouver fans went out there and chanted "Fire Benning" in a game against the Anaheim Ducks, so I certainly do feel like there would be some sort of reverence with fan sentiment in the arena. Honestly, don't hate it. What a time to be alive for Chicago sports fans. Anders Sorensen won last night in LV and woke up as the head coach of the Hawks. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going out there and talking about how this is a good thing. Absolute cinema, as Goku Martin Scorsese goes out there and says. So I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about the Chicago Blackhawks announcement of firing head coach Luke Richardson. After we spoke about how it's getting worse for Connor Bedard, seems like now it's getting better for Connor Bedard. Luke Richardson is out. Anders Sorensen from the AHL Rockford is in. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this transaction, and what do you think this means for the rest of the Blackhawks and their organization? I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.